Hey guys, Kingpin Light here. Today we're going to look at one of the most Gen Z inspired reality TV shows out there, The Circle. No, not that. This.
Welcome to The Circle.
Now, before we get into a deep dive of the first episode of this show, I'll have to admit a little something. Me and my girlfriend have actually watched every season of this show, semi-ironically. Only semi. It's actually pretty entertaining if you get past the fast foodness of it. I also know this is pretty different from my regular content that's on this channel, so please let me know if you like this type of video and if you want to see more like this alongside my regular content. And of course, if you like the video, hit that like and subscribe and leave some feedback in the comments. That always helps, whether it's negative or positive, as long as it's constructive. Best thing you can do. All right, now on to the actual show. The concept of the show is pretty weird to begin with. What would you do to become social media famous and win $100,000? So basically the 2020s version of what would you do for a Klondike bar? I should also mention that this show is one of those super bright shows where everybody yells everything that they say. They have no concept of voice moderation or volume, and the host is no exception.
The real life game that asks, how far would you go to be popular on social media if there were $100,000 at stake?
I want to win.
I honestly feel like she sets the tone for the loudness. She's like the loudest one of all, and she's got a bigger repertoire of dad jokes than any dad I've ever heard. Like, it's pretty insane. I can't really prove it, but I also feel like she favors some people over others, just the way that she kind of talks about the different contestants. But like I said, I can't prove it. The whole show is basically a 2020 COVID lockdown simulator on steroids. They can only communicate through this app called The Circle that's voice activated, and basically they say all these commands, like the messages that they want sent and everything, through this like screen TV computer thing, right? Which I'm pretty sure is just some intern having to manually type everything into the computer, like some sort of underpaid Wizard of Oz, because take a look at this.
So the left one, I love the smile, and I think it shows how warm and kind I really am.
Like, legitimately, if AI was this good at understanding language, I wouldn't need to tell Siri 1,000,000 times to pause the music.
Sorry, I didn't quite get that.
Now, one of the things that's important about this show is that you're creating a virtual profile to interact with everybody, right? Nobody can hear your voice and nobody can see actual videos of you or anything. So this kind of opens up the ability to lie, which some of the contestants do on this show, catfishing basically. And it opens up this subplot throughout. It's not mentioned that much in the first episode and not that much in the first season, but it becomes this huge subplot for the show where everybody's just spending all their time trying to figure out who's a catfish, forgetting what the initial goal of this show is, right? They're just all like, oh, let's go chase down some catfish. So the show goes on to introduce the 8 contestants in this weird mash of odd dancing and movements and faces and weird background music as they explain what they're all about. I mean, just take a look at this.
For real, I be mad.
Hi, my name is Samantha. I'm 24 years old and I'm from Miami, Florida.
Who got the clothes? Who got the fashion?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that people are gonna like me for me, because I mean, in real life they do, so why would
Right, there's a total of 8 players in this first show. That first one that you just saw was Samantha, or Sammy. Sammy's probably one of the funniest contenders of the show. At first, it kind of seems like she's going to be one of those people super obsessed with her looks, like somebody else we're going to cover pretty shortly. But it turns out she's super down to earth. Oh, and one of the greatest things about her is she has this amazing way of gagging at every single flirt attempt that is put on her. And even in the end of the show, when they have this reunion, they have a compilation clip of all the times she gagged. It's one of the funniest clips of the show. Next up, we get our very own first catfish of the show, Seaburn, or as he's known on the show, Rebecca. He's actually a pretty funny dude. The only reason, apparently, that he's using his girlfriend's pictures, that's who it is, not some random girl he found on the internet, is to get a little bit of that sweet simp love that the internet is known for. And that's his game plan, basically, to try and lure in all the guys with his girlfriend, which now that I'm saying is, it's a bit odd. But I mean, like, I can't blame his game. I feel like I know where he's coming from, and to an extent, it kind of works, at least with 1, maybe 2 of the contestants.
now?
Hi, my name is Rebecca. I'm 26 from Boston, Massachusetts. I do have a secret in store for the players.
I'm a dude.
Now, I could be rude and make a joke about his name sounds like a certain racehorse, Or a joke about how he thinks he'll be a perfect woman, like he's an avid reader of Elliot Rodgers or something. Or a joke about his amazing collection of plushies, which honestly, good for him, I guess. But that would be rude, and if there's one thing that I would never do, it's be rude to somebody. So instead, all I'll say is he's got some of the funniest interactions with his all-girls group chat that sometimes happens in the show. I think it's not on this first episode, but one of the funniest things was when he didn't really know how periods work, or when he couldn't recognize that one of the contestants that we'll get to, I think right after this one, was very obviously gay, wasn't hiding it at all, and he seemed to be the only one that didn't get the memo.
Hey everybody, my name is Chris. I'm 30 years old and I'm coming to you all the way from the Big D, Dallas, Texas. My game plan is just to be myself and do whatever it takes to do whatever I need to do to get where I'm trying to.
Speaking of that, the next contestant they show is Chris. I don't have a whole lot to say about him. He's a pretty likable person. I think he's got a good game plan. He's one of the few people that just is taking notes every shot that I see him. So he's playing it super strategic while also being pretty personable. He's one of the most liked people on this show. The only real gripe I have is directed toward the show itself and not him. You can tell that he was typecast as like the show's token gay dude. And the reason I say that is because if you take a look at the first seasons of The Circle Brazil and The Circle France, I think it was, they all purposely typecasted the same archetype of people. And I don't know, it feels a little irky to me that they typecasted him. You know what I mean? I feel like there's plenty of ways to show support for LGBTQ.
Yeah, buddy. What's up, peeps? I'm Joey Sasso. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Rochester, New York. I'm a bartender. And I'm the proudest mama's boy you're ever gonna meet.
Then they move on to Joey, which has got to be mine and my girlfriend's favorite character of the entire show. Person, contender, whatever you want to call them. He's literally 100% the heart and soul of the show. I like to call him a meathead with a heart. My girlfriend likes to refer to him as the golden retriever of the show, and I think it becomes pretty apparent if you watch his interactions and the way he thinks and acts in front of the camera. He's got one of the best bromances of the show with Shuby, who will cover up pretty soon after this one. And I gotta say, he has one of the best cinematic character arcs of all time. He literally goes from looking like a regular Gym Tan Laundry type of dude, Jersey Shore, to basically like the most fleshed out human of all of them. I mean, it's incredible. We also can't forget his affinity for a good toothbrush.
You can tell that guy's got a nice toothbrush.
Oh man, Alana is the next contestant they show, and I know I said I wouldn't be rude to people here, but I really can't help myself when it comes to her. Like, her whole thing is that she's too pretty and gets judged too harshly in real life, and she just wants to show everybody that she has a personality past her good looks. Okay, at face value, that is a very valid point. I'm sure there's very beautiful people out there with a brain that are glanced over for more mentally stimulating activities because of their pretty face. Fair enough, but none of that applies to Alana.
Hi, my name's Alana. I'm 25 and I'm from Brownsville, Texas. I'm a swimsuit model and a lingerie model, so I get judged by other girls because they just don't want their boyfriends to look at me.
First of all, she could have catfished as an ugly dude or girl if she really wanted to be known for her personality and have her looks not matter at all in this. This is literally the one time that she can lie on the internet and not end up on Catfish or sitting down with Chris Hansen, right? And instead she takes it the complete opposite way and brings only the highest quality model images that she has. Like, she didn't even bring in one of those cutesy, silly, goofy mood type of pics that girls use to relate to other girls. She's just like, nah, I'm gonna bring my best collection, my most beautiful pictures. And for what? It's literally the opposite of what she's trying to accomplish here. So I don't understand it, right? It's not even that she had to hide who she is if she really wanted to be known for her looks and her personality. It's the fact that she didn't even try to bring personality full pictures, right? It was all about her modeling and her beauty and blah, blah, blah. Also, would it be crossing the line to say, to me, personally, she looks a little bit like a fish? Let me see, or maybe like a fish Pokemon or something. I don't know. That's just me.
My name is Shubham and I'm 23 years old and I'm from California. I am a virtual reality designer. My presence on social media, it's very minimal. Honestly, I think social media is our modern day bubonic plague. It's actually the devil in all its forms.
Shuby. Man, I'm so mixed about this dude. Like throughout the season, he has these almost incel-like moments and lines of thinking. He's also like the world's biggest social media hater. But like even though he talks like that the entire season, this dude has, now that he's got like a whole bunch of followers on his social media, he's more active on it. So was it really the concept of social media, or was it him just not being part of the it group that he didn't like? You know what I mean? I don't know. I kind of saw him as like the anti-social media hipster or something like that. Like it didn't feel genuine, especially seeing his actions after the show. But even despite all that, I just can't help but like the dude. He's like the little brother that you never had. Well, actually, I have little brothers, but you know what I mean. If you didn't, he's sort of like that shoe-in for it, that shoe-be-in. And he's got his bromance with Joey that's actually heartfelt. He's super loyal to his friends. He's got these like really quirky but funny traits about him. Like he's just a likable dude all around, you know what I mean? I think he's much better after the show, actually, when he's made friends with Joey and got a little bit of a social media clout or wherever. I kind of saw him throughout this series as like the show's mascot or something like that. He was just a great dude.
Hi, my name is Antonio. I'm 24 and I'm a professional basketball player. I'm not gonna feel guilty about flirting on the circle. My girlfriend's giving me the green light and I'm gonna do anything it takes to win.
Antonio. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a whole lot to say about him. I have a sneaking suspicion that he's not really a basketball player like he says. I don't know, man. It's just something about his team or where he played and everything just wasn't adding up to me. But granted, I'm more of a college football guy, so I don't really know a lot about basketball outside of like the NBA, which it doesn't sound like he's in. He says he plays overseas. That may be true, I don't know, but it just felt a little fishy to me, you know what I mean? A little Alana to me. His game plan was pretty simple. He was trying to be a player in more ways than one. Nothing really special going on there. He played himself, tried to say he was a chef throughout the show, so there's that.
Hey, what's going on, folks? My name is Karen. I'm 37. I'm from the Bronx in New York City. I am choosing to play a catfish named Mercedes. Guys see her, they usually drool. When girls see her, they want to be friends.
In the final of the starting cast and the second catfish, Karen, or as she goes by in the show, some random thirst trap woman that she found online. I don't think she even knows who she is. She's playing a character called Mercedes. Not to be confused with the car, this has a Z, so there's a little more personality in there, you know what I mean? And I feel like you can immediately tell she's from New York, or at least I hope she is, or that reference doesn't really make a lot of sense. I think I remember it saying New York, so I'm just gonna go with that because she acts like she's from New York. Now, her real self is lesbian, but she's playing, the catfish that she's playing is a straight woman. I guess she's just trying to get the straight dudes to go after her with these thirst trap style pictures and befriend all the women, right? Without, I guess, people feeling weird about it. I don't know. She could have gone the lesbian route. I think eventually in the show, she has Mercedes be bisexual, which makes a little more sense, but that's what she's playing. Now, with the entirety of the terminally online Avengers finally gathered, we get a look at the apartments that they'll be staying in for the duration of the show. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, this looks like some sort of dystopian future written by George Orwell or something with the amount of cameras shown everywhere. Like, I understand this is a reality TV show, so you need cameras everywhere capturing, you know, every moment of the show, but like still, I'd feel a little weird personally knowing that there's like 10 different shots of me chowing down on some Takis, but it just felt weird seeing all the cameras in every corner of the room, right? Oh, real quick, take a look at this shot of Seaburn plotting to take down James Bond or something. I don't know what these evil hands are.
In the circle. And some play.
Yeah. So then they proceed to set up their profiles that everyone's going to be able to take a look at. Really the only point of contact the other contestants are going to have with each other. And I still, to this day, do not understand why they brought literally like 300 pictures to pick from. You would think that they would either already know what pictures they're gonna have, or I don't know, have a little bit less than that, because they end up having literally to pick 3 or 4 by the end of the season, where they show like the 3 or 4 pictures that they show publicly, and they categorize them all. Like they have all of these different albums with very specific names, and like they don't even look at all of them. So I don't really understand. Maybe they didn't have access. Well, I guess they couldn't have had access to their phone throughout the entirety, but it just felt a little weird to me. I still don't know why they did it.
That picture's popping. Like, that's cute.
Whoa, what the fuck? Let's take a closer look at that.
That picture's popping. Like, that's cute.
So apparently that's Alana so bloomed out that it looks like she has literally no nose. I guess that's the new thing in modeling. Don't worry, she's not the only one being called out for horrendous pictures. There's also Mercedes, who looks literally like those AI art that have been coming out and everyone's been up in arms about. Like, take a look at this and tell me that's not AI created.
Hey, Circle, set this as my profile photo.
Now, to add a little positivity to this discussion, let's give some appreciation to Seaburn's amazing Wonder Woman plushie.
Go add that picture to my profile.
As they're making these profiles, it's pretty apparent that everybody wants to be seen as single. I wonder why. There's also a pretty funny moment where Karen finds out that you can use emojis in the chat and completely loses her mind. It's obvious she's never used emojis in her life, and this is her one chance to finally do so.
Do we have emojis? Can we put a wink? Ah, yo, Circle, you are the shit.
Jesus Christ. So that nuclear level sound that you just heard is what's called an alert. Basically, anytime something of interest happens, that noise will happen, alerting everybody that something is happening. In this case, the alert is letting everyone know that they now have to rank every other contestant based on their profile and their pictures alone before even getting to talk or to know them or anything like that, right? In essence, this is the absolute opposite of that other trashy entertainment show, Love is Blind. So, Love has 20/20 vision.
Oh my god! I have friends!
Of course, Sammy has to react with this loud squeal like she's never had friends in her life, and this is finally the chance to shine.
See Alana's profile? No, completely no.
Honestly, guys, I think my liking of Karen went way up the second that she had this on-site hatred for Alana. She was just like, no. And I know I kind of already went off on Alana, but like, I'm with Karen 100% here, right? Like, if I had to judge her based on her profile alone, she seems like a very high maintenance, low performance valley girl type of girl. I mean, she's quite literally the equivalent of a human Volvo. Now, I just want to take a quick moment to point out that nobody can get my boy Shuby's name right. Like, I literally made a clip compilation of every mispronunciation of his name possible. Just take a look at this.
Shabams.
Dig it, Shubham.
Where's Shubham?
Shubham!
Shuby? Who the fuck named him Shuby? What's for Shubham?
Also, while we're on the topic of Shuby, I did make a compilation of him being just weird or goofy.
He's not. He's just being himself. There's no makeup, there's no filter. So I really respect that with him. Ratings are complete. I think the first person who writes is probably someone who loves social media. Oh shit!
Anyway, back to the Alana hating train. She decides to make a girls only chat called Skinny Queens, much to the dismay of literally everybody else. Nobody fucked with that name.
Circle, I would like to start a group chat with the girls only. I would like to call it the Skinny Queens.
Oh God, I can only imagine the shit that's about to be said in this group here, boy. I love females. You guys are the best.
Skinny Queen's chat.
She then makes it even worse by adding a hashtag, which is weird enough to be doing in this, but everybody else does it, so I'm not going to complain about it. She adds a hashtag to a message saying, girls that stick together are pretty girls. Now again, keep in mind, this is the girl that specifically said she did not want to be known for looks. I don't know why she's got to bring up looks in literally everything she does, but yeah, nobody else liked that either.
Girls who stick together are pretty girls. Emoji heart and send.
So this bitch is all about looks and skinny girls, pretty girls.
Pretty girls.
I don't know how I feel about Alana right now. I'm kind of happy that I had her like lower in my ratings because now I'm just getting a vibe and I don't know if I like it.
Sammy is having none of that, and rightfully so, but this does lead to one of the funny situations I mentioned Seaburn gets himself into where he decides to ask everyone, they're all talking about guys they find cute or whatever else, and he says, does anybody else find Chris cute? And like he's intending to ask whether anybody has like feelings or whatever, or like an attraction to Chris, and everybody else just immediately jumps in and is like, bro, my man's Chris is gay.
Hey, Sammy, do you think Chris is cute? Send.
Baby girl, he's gay. Laugh my ass off.
Is he?
How did you not get gay vibes from it? That's why I feel like Rebecca's a catfish.
Rebecca, he gay is gay. It don't get no gayer than that, honey.
I mean, I don't know how you couldn't know that Chris is gay with like the stuff he says. Like, take a look at this.
He can bake this muffin. This whole rating thing had me sweating like a hoe in church. Bitch, look at my hand, it's shaking, boo.
So later on, Seaburn does begin a little bit of a romance, or I guess you could say a budding friendship, with the only person that I think really fell for his catfishing, Shuby. Now, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but the romance or tension or whatever you want to call it lasts the entire season. So it's not just the beginning episode or anything like that. It literally is pretty strong throughout the season. So like Shuby once again shows that he will fall for literally anyone that shows him even a modicum of attention. And of course, Seaburn shows us that he can play the perfect woman like he said he would. I mean, like, take a look at this. He's jumping around with joy. This is the happiest moment of his life. He finally has himself a virtual boyfriend.
Natural filters on her profile. Yes! 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 Me and freaking shabam!
Continuing the theme of DMs, can you guess who Joey messaged? And no, not Antonio.
Message. Clearly, I'm private messaging you for a reason. Wink emoji, sent.
With a winky face.
If you guess the skinny blonde, that is definitely not about looks. Then you get a thumbs up from me and the look at Joey just being hilarious.
Bottle service with brains, bitches. Jesus Christ, what the hell's wrong with this girl? I think I'm ready to rate you bastards. Circle.
The last of the DM sliding conversations of the show is Antonia and Mercedes, and Mercedes, or Karen, shows herself to be a true New Yorker at heart yet again.
Message. Why are you single?
And because of this conversation, we're led into the secret world of Antonio, and we get a master class on flirting from the master player himself.
Families love me. I knew that was coming. Bow, and you did exactly what I wanted. Yo, guys are so fucking predictable, bro.
I know, I need to give lessons of this shit, man. I need to write a fucking book about it.
Yes, that's right. In Antonio's world, a regular and very normal conversation with a woman is considered S-tier flirting. I mean, honestly, he needs to start a class or like an academy or something to be able to teach all these lonely and single men on how to flirt. Or I guess maybe, you know what, let's scratch that. Let's not do that. So after this, it marks the final section of the episode, or like the episodic layout of the show, where the two highest rated players from before, when they were rating each other based on looks and profile, are chosen to get into this special room with full of snacks or whatever. They're not actually together. They're still separated by a wall, I'm assuming. But they go into this conference room and decide who to block together. And just completely blocked from the show. It's basically the elimination section. Sammy and Antonio are chosen for whatever reason. Now, I wasn't sure where to put this in the video, but another kind of negative about Antonio is he pretends to have this big bro thing with Shuby, but like every time he mentions it, it comes across really like deadpan and sarcastic. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know if they had like a conversation off screen or something, but anytime Shuby's mentioned, he's like, no, Shuby, my brother. I don't know what that's all about. So the two of them just start going through each of the contestants and giving their thoughts and their ideas on what they think of each person. And it's like super clear right off the bat that Sammy just came with no thoughts of her own, and she's going along with everything Antonio says down to the word. And I mean, Antonio even calls it out. He's literally like, bro, I'm the one running this.
Honestly, I guess I don't really have any pros about her either. She's kind of just like there. Message. To be honest, I don't have any pros and I don't really have any cons.
Sammy's basically saying whatever I say in a different way. I'm the influencer influencing the influencer.
And Sammy and her magical nose ring
I don't usually do conditions.
just has no original thoughts and is really just going along with what Antonio decides. So really, he's the one getting to block somebody on this episode. And while all that's going down, the conversation is about who to block. We got Shuby being super depressed for being last in this. Again, he's the dude that's talking about not caring about social media at all and how it's a blight on everyone's world, and we shouldn't be putting all this time and energy and emotions into it. And then he's the one feeling the most down and like looking for people to help him. It's just, again, another little contradictory thing that he does here.
I knew I was bad at first impressions, but this one really hurts. think I'm the one going. Period. Best of luck with this game. Send.
I think I'm the one going. Best of luck with. Oh no!
And so ultimately they decide to block Alana. No real surprises there. She didn't really make a connection with anybody except maybe Joey, and that definitely wasn't based on personality either. So she was kind of just there. And this causes her ego to go into complete defense mode immediately. She's like, oh, well, people didn't get to know me. They're just basing it on my looks again. They didn't think I could be real, blah, 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 blah. She's like, oh, they just couldn't see the real me, the empty, hollow shell that she is inside. I think people saw that pretty early on. So we're going to end my analysis on this episode with a moment of silence led by Karen.
Moment of silence. Moment going. Next.
So there you have it, guys. The Circle season 1 episode 1. As I mentioned in the beginning, me and my girlfriend have actually watched all 4 seasons. So I've given a lot of thought on what character is missing from the show. As if I was on the show, how would I behave or what character would I play? I think the one thing that's missing across all of the seasons is somebody who's just straight up sarcastic and not the nicest. Like not be completely mean, but just a little bit of a dick in there. I feel like that would be entertaining to watch because all of these seasons, they have this thin layer of just fakeness a little bit. Like everybody's trying to be nice so that they're liked by everybody else. But there's so many online personalities that are like dicks or sarcastic that are really liked. So I feel like that's missing. That whole side of the internet is missing from this show. So that, I think if I played the game, that's what I would play. You guys let me know how you would play this game if you were on it. What character would you play? Would you be yourself or would you be a catfish? That sort of thing. And if you guys enjoyed the video and made it this far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button. And if you want to support the channel, I have a Patreon in the description below. You can donate as little as $1 a month to help the channel out. That'd be great. No need to. Don't feel pressure to do it. I'm going to upload all of my videos as usual for free on here for as far as I can envision. So that's really just there to support the channel. It's not really to get any hidden content as of this time. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night. And I will catch you guys on the next one.